I am the ghost of Town Ghostington.
Yeah, let's bring it back. Come on. Upbeat.
Welcome to the BREWDCAST. I'm Bud Robinson. With me tonight is Leon. Say hi, Leon.
Hey, you're stealing my line now.
Hi, Leon.
And Town Historian. Say hi, Town. Hi.
I'm the ghost of Bud Robinson. So should we talk about...
You've got hot takes. You told me you have hot takes.
I do.
Fire away with hot takes. I've got a million of them.
So, Collision. I have many from Collision. First of all, Big Bill and Ricky Starks, new AEW Tag Team Champions. First of all, great for them. They remind me a lot of HBK and Diesel. This is not a hot take. This is just me saying that. However, I don't understand why they don't just strip people during injury. Like, AEW is very good about being transparent about injuries, and I don't understand why they're not just like... Because it seems like that's the case. It seems like FTR is injured.
The one guy has hurt ribs, and I guess it's pretty bad. So
I don't. It just seems silly to me. The next thing I wanted to talk about, though, unless we want to talk about, I thought we would have more like banter about FTR being not champions anymore, but nobody piped up. So I'm just
they were hurt. I mean, I get why they did it, and I think FTR comes back, and I think the Bucks beat these guys, and then I think they fight the Bucks.
I can see that
again.
Yeah,
and then they're going to win it back. They're going to be way unbalanced. Again. So. Are you just going to keep saying again throughout this podcast? I like that shirt, by the way. It's very cool.
Encore. Encore une fois.
So Jay White, here's my hot take, okay? We said last week that, or you said last week, Town, that you're not feeling the Jay White thing. Like, the promos have been not really hitting, and Jay White, like, stealing the championship, it's passé, it's cliche, which I agreed with. Largely.
Yep.
However, the direction they're taking it, particularly in Collision, where they're sort of making Jay White the champion without actually making him the champion, I think is fucking brilliant. And here's why. I think it gives us a chance to see MJF focus more on the ROH titles without having to worry about the world title and like defending it and all of that stuff. Like, it makes him less busy. And it also gives us a look at what a Jay White world title run will eventually look like. I think it's such like a brilliant move on whoever came up with it. I think it's such a cool move because it gives us something to look forward to instead of being like, now he's defending these tag titles. Now he's defending the world title, and it's like back and forth and like, anyway.
I think that if you're going to make Jay White a champion, you make Jay White a champion. You do it the right way, and this feels like idiot henchman number one steals championship for a little feud, gets beat up, loses, doesn't do anything.
I mean, I see where you're coming from, but this is a very unique situation. It is unusual for... Is it not a unique situation where you have someone who is tag team title holder, also world title holder, does not have his partner, and is forced to defend that title against other people because he's agreed to do that? Like, I think this is a very unique situation, and I think what they're doing with the world title and keeping both titles relevant at the same time is very unique, and I love it. Hello,
the banter and the actual what's playing out between MJF and Jay White is very not engaging to me.
It's engaging me.
I have no engagement in it. I'm watching it and I'm just going, they're both better than this. they're trying way too hard to make MJF a good guy, and he's losing some of his he's kind of losing some of his mojo. I think by him coming out and I'm trying to do the right thing for the fans of this and that and yada yada yada. Don't do that. And I think that's part of it, and I think the other part of it is. I listened to it. I listened to him steal the belt and then say, well, you got to earn it. Da da da. Okay, and I get it. You're a heel, but at the same time, it's like I feel like nobody gives a fuck about Jay White, and it's just the MJF show. That's really the vibe that I get. That the only thing that matters in this is MJF, and Jay White is he's just a body. He's just in a spot, and he's going to do the job, and then they're going to move on to something else. That's how I feel.
I'm really not feeling that way.
I
strongly disagree.
I can't unfeel it. And again,
that's fair. We are having different
I love Jay
responses
White.
to it.
I love the bang banging. I love Jay White.
Mm-hmm.
I just think there's a million better ways to do this feud, and I think right now it was done so random. He had no momentum, and it's just like he's cosplaying as a champion.
It was a bit out of the blue. I'll give you that. And yes, he's cosplaying. That's part of why I think I like it, is that he's playing the part. It is fine that we both are feeling different ways about this Jay White thing. I don't
dislike Jay White, and I don't think, like I said, like I want to like what they're doing. I want to like what they're doing,
mm-hmm.
But I'm sitting here and I'm watching it, and I'm just going, "Oh, this is just not. It's not landing."
When they're also they're trying to tell this story with Roddy Strong. This is the one thing that's really bugging me about AEW right now is they're trying to tell 100 different stories, all interlinked. Like they have Bryan Danielson who's fighting Christian Cage, and Christian Cage doesn't like Adam Copeland, and Adam Copeland is buddies with I don't know, he's friends with Darby, Darby is doing this thing.
You want to make the biggest match you can make right now? It's Christian Cage and MJF. There ain't anything else that's going to touch it. Because everybody hates Christian and everything he does, and everybody loves MJF. That's the feud, and I think that, honest to God, I think that's the next feud they're going to do. I really do. I
don't think you're wrong.
Because Christian is so immensely
Bond villain era,
just amazing. And then I look at that. Maybe that's part of the problem I'm struggling with Jay White. He just seems like kind of like a doofus heel, So I don't know.
A little, yeah. I think that's largely his character. It comes off that way. But sure, yeah.
So I again, the match he had
more the group as a whole, but Jay himself is actually more the conniving, cunning type of heel. It's with Juice and with the Guns, they're more kind of the bumbling lackeys.
But I don't have an issue. I don't have an issue with the Bang Bang Gang. I don't have an issue with the Bullet Club Gold. I think they're great, and I think as a group, I think they're really fucking good. It's this feud. This feud is not. It's not landing, and it just feels flat. And I'm gonna just stand by that till it doesn't. And if it does, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But right now, I'm just sitting here like.
For the most part, I agree with you, but Max. Wait, we're still on Collision. I apologize. I'm getting ahead of myself.
We can go to Dynamite. I mean, we might as well. Who gives a shit? I mean, we're just talking about the feud as whole.
Max's promo on fucking Dynamite was great.
Mm-hmm.
I am, no secret that I'm not his biggest fan, but I really enjoyed his promo from Dynamite.
He's learning how to be a face.
I actually started to buy what he was selling. It finally started to land home for me. Until the whole thing with Juice, which was yuck.
Oh yeah, that was tough.
Gross.
To watch. Yeah. I think
because
he put out a tweet, and I think maybe he's poking at this intentionally, like he told Juice to poke at this, because he put out a tweet saying that he's trying to I forget exactly how he worded it, but it was essentially like, if you don't think that these sorts of issues can be addressed in professional wrestling, that's a failure of the past eras of the sport, and I'm trying to bring it forward. Like, I'm trying to modernize the sport in a way that we can talk about these shitty things, like this bullying that happens with people, which is really cool. Like, not ever a thing that I would expect MJF to have ever done. It's
Very
surprising
true.
to me.
Very true. Yeah, because it has kind of one thing about him that's kind of bugged me a little bit. Like his whole time is while he's willing to go to some pretty low places in his promos and his insults and everything, then if you come back at him, pretty much anything. Like, and I get it, it's a heel playing a role. Like if you come back at him about any of his anything, he treats it like it's a real thing, while at the same time, anything that he says, he's a heel playing a role, and that part has always kind of landed kind of funky for me.
Yeah.
Is what I'm saying making sense?
Yeah. No, I you're right. Like he tends to make really, really low hanging fruit jokes as a heel, or at least he did. And now that he's in this face role, he's not making those low hanging. He does.
Still fucking does.
Yeah.
Not to the same level though.
But
yeah, but I mean, it's still fat jokes and in my pores now, instead of the pores, it's my pores, and yeah.
I mean, there's some cringe.
Got him over though. It got him over. I mean, I don't know what else to say.
I know, no, I get that part, but it's just like I guess it's a heel work type stuff where, you know, I can say this kind of stuff, but you can't, and it makes me a hypocrite, but that's me being a heel. I don't know. It's part of the thing that we've talked about where, like, maybe we're better off, maybe we'd still be better off not knowing everything that goes on backstage, not knowing that everything is a work. But that gets into a whole, I mean, Pandora's box is open, we don't get to close it back up, so.
It's true.
I think that right there is a lot of what's wrong with this business right now, is the vast knowledge we have of what's going on backstage, and it's.
I just think that's funny because I read a thing. I think it was Dave Meltzer, or maybe Brian Alvarez, who's like, or no, it was like Bischoff, who was like, the dirt sheets are ruining the industry because now you get to see all of this stuff, and I didn't think that we would ever agree with that. I think it's cool to see the backstage, but I think kayfabe being gone kind of sucks because we don't.
Yeah,
surprises are gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like CM Punk coming back would have been a huge surprise, but it was all over the fucking internet. So like,
that was one that I would have leaked either way, because that one you needed people to know that was going to happen. Nobody would turn fucking Rampage on. You wouldn't have sold out that building.
Well, he wanted to sell that shit out, so
you had to.
Was the way to do it. He was going to be there. Yeah, no, I get that.
Fair.
What else you got, bud?
I have like a list, but I don't want to go through all of these. Some of these are just like, whatever. I like Max Caster as MJF's stalker, and now they're bringing it back.
That's good.
Like,
that's good.
I'm his friend, and I want to like support him. Very cool, because it's.
Well, they're obviously gonna help him, and they're gonna have a 4-way, and then at the pay per view they can have a 6-man tag match, which I think would be pretty fucking good.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I have a feeling.
Sorry, go ahead. Part on Collision was kind of I'm sorry. The part on Collision was kind of where he was being kind of creepy with him with the whole rubbing his shoulders and everything. But then his part, the one on Dynamite, where he was really earnestly coming out and offering to help, and that's my friend and all that. I dug it.
Yeah,
Max was fucking great there. Well, Max Caster was really great there.
I kind of thought that he was gonna like lend his hand in like defending the ROH titles, which I guess he still could. That would be really cool.
They could. I mean, they have that history, so
Yeah.
Well, also putting like your hottest tag team with your hottest single star, not a bad idea.
Not a bad idea, and they're not like the Acclaimed is not
I
super
didn't
hot right
think of
now.
it that way. I
Hmm.
didn't think of it that way, but yeah, that makes sense too, Tom. Absolutely.
They're the
You're so
Acclaimed is
smart.
kind of the Acclaimed is kind of directionless. He is. So it's nice to see them hooking up with MJF.
Oh yeah, no, I
Um,
like it.
I also realized while I was watching Collision that Christian Cage's group is like all second fiddles, and I think that's awesome. Like that's so meta. I love it.
Yep.
Especially with it being him.
Yes.
That's fucking great. That makes sense. I like it. I
Okay.
like it.
That was all I had for Collision. Is there anything else we wanted to talk about with Collision? I thought
I've
it was
got
a really
nothing.
good show. I just had things that came up while I was watching it. So Dynamite happened last night. Title Tuesday.
AKA both sides get as petty as fuck.
Yeah, no shit. Here's my take on that, if I can, for just a moment. I kind of feel like Triple H and HBK were like poking the bear with Tony Khan, and vice versa. Well, more like Tony Khan was responding in a very aggressive and petty way.
Tony Khan type manner.
Yes. After he has a couple of White Claws in him.
White Claw Rage.
But
Ain't no laws when you're drinking claws.
it's true. At least, especially not for Tony. I don't think that this did anything. I don't think that this did what they wanted it to do. I think that TK and in particular, I think WWE was hoping that they were going to pull eyes to their product instead of them watching AEW. I think what actually happened was people were like, oh shit, stuff's going to go down. AEW fans, more of the AEW fans tuned in who weren't going to otherwise. More NXT fans tuned in who were going like we have this tribalism. I think there were very few people who like crossed
Did you see the ratings?
No, I didn't.
AEW got smoked.
Okay, so I'm wrong. I'm totally wrong on that.
900 and like 75,000 to 660 some thousand. They got fucking worked.
Don't they have like Cena and fucking Undertaker
Yeah.
and like
Yeah.
That was what it took apparently.
I think
That said, WWE is doing really well.
We don't see AEW as competition.
That's kind of the funny part. I think from reading comments on Facebook, which is my favorite hobby, it's just a cesspool. All the WWE fans tuned in because they wanted to beat AEW, and they managed to get some of those mainstream fans that aren't really fans. When you say Taker and Cena are going to be there, you're going to pull those people in. When you put Cody Rhodes on there, those people are going to tune in. I think not being on Wednesday hurt AEW because that's their normal day.
Yeah, we're all used to it being on Wednesday night.
Yeah, that hurts because not everybody knows it's going to be on Tuesday. Because people are like, wait, what the fuck? Why isn't it on? So, according to those fans, it's the end of AEW. They might as well just quit and not run another show.
I think Tony's going to be okay.
Just
a thought.
Raw got 1.5 million viewers.
Okay.
And NXT got 900,000. And AEW got like 600,000. Closer to 7. And that's not a very big gap. And if you're WWE and you want to brag on that, that's fine. Like, you won. Congratulations. Kudos to you.
Their off night with two of your biggest stars ever appearing.
But also, like, when the fuck do we start celebrating Monday Night Raw for doing great when it gets 1.5 million viewers? That's nothing.
Yeah.
That show used to get like 7.
But yeah, well, see, that's the thing though with streaming and everything else. Like
That's a bullshit
with
excuse.
all the different options that are out there, like no, the only thing that gets those kind of ratings anymore is the NFL and maybe the NBA Finals if it's a good matchup. That's all that gets that kind of rating live anymore.
I don't know. I just don't think. I think there's another really big issue that people are just kind of avoiding, and like the tribalism. The tribalism is so fucking bad, but the tribalism has created a situation where nobody watches both. You either watch one or the other, and I think that's what we're down to. I think people don't. There's not people that sit there on Monday night and watch all of Raw. Who the fuck would want to do that? Because that's 3 hours of bullshit. But you'd watch all of Monday Night Raw, watch all of NXT, watch Dynamite, then watch SmackDown, and after SmackDown, watch Rampage, then watch Collision. Nobody does that.
I mean, I think that's the thing is like, even if you don't watch WWE, if you're just an AEW person, you're not also watching NWA and watching GCW and watching this and watching that. Like,
I think if you're an
make a very
AEW
valid
fan,
point.
I think you're way more likely to watch NWA and GCW.
Yeah.
I think if you're a WWE fan, you live in a bubble of the sports entertainment bubble and it's mainstream. And I think that is like the difference that I'm noticing is that WWE's mainstream. They're more about glitz and glamour and paparazzi style bullshit and all that. And like, if you want to watch wrestling, was the wrestling good on NXT last night? Pretty average, if not subpar. And then you turn on AEW, you have great wrestling. So you're almost like you're doing two completely different fucking things.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think that's where we're at. And I think those WWE fans aren't wrestling fans. And I like.
You mentioned the phrase tribalism, and I think the tribalism comes in when it's not just I watch WWE, it's I watch WWE and fuck AEW. I hope they fucking die. Yeah, that's the step that we take forward because we like. I don't know. Maybe AEW fans do the same thing about WWE fans, but like I sit there and I go, fine. WWE is not my thing. They are trying to pull casual watchers. They are not trying to pull me. Like I am a person who like enjoys watching wrestling. Like technical wrestling.
And we're not the target audience.
And we're not the target audience. That's fine.
But
like and why do we have to That's it. Just like why do we have to do anything other than that? Why can't we just be like WWE, y'all
that's
like
just
your
like
shit.
that's just
fine.
like Edge going to AEW or Jade going to fucking WWE. And it's the fucking WWE marks are worse than the AEW marks. There's AEW marks, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But like the WWE ones are like, we got Jade, it's all over, you might as well quit, she's gonna be such a star here. Blah 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 blah. It's like, oh, who fucking cares? And then Adam Copeland goes to fucking AEW, it's like, you're dead to me, I can't believe you turned your back on us. Da 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 da. And then you like hear Triple H is like, yeah. It was mutual. He wanted to do stuff. We didn't really have anything for him. We're happy he's down there. We hope he does well.
Yeah.
So like,
and then just after that, he like made some subtle digs.
Kenny's comment that I believe Bud brought up last time too was like,
oh yeah,
it was like believe it or not, when somebody gets a new contract, everybody's happy for them.
Exactly.
Like,
yeah.
Like as long as they're getting paid and getting to do what they love, fuck yeah.
I don't think as a fucking society we can handle another wrestling war because we're too fucking stupid. And we're tribalistic about everything and we argue about everything.
Oh, God,
you fucking name it, we argue about it. And we're sitting here and we're having this stupid conversation. Like AEW is really fucking strong company. And the other thing is, after last night, Warner's going to drop AEW inside NXT. They're going to make NXT the exclusive brand of Warner Brothers. I'm like, no, they're not. They're not going to do that, you fucking idiots.
Why don't you just print Mark on your forehead?
Yeah, I just like, why are they the way that they are? It's just like,
Well,
why
hold on. Well, hold
I
on.
got some theories.
AEW
Because-
AEW is a little cold right now. That's fine. Like, we don't have to make it about big numbers. That's fine. Because they sold out a shit ton of tickets at All In. And then I don't know that they sold out All Out, but like they sold a shit ton of pay-per-views at All Out. Like, people are getting tired of them. So like, they're going to be cold for a little bit. That's okay.
I think AEW is cold for a few reasons. I think one of the biggest reasons is the CM Punk thing. And I think there's a lot. I think there's a lot of fans that hold a lot of ill will towards them for firing Punk because there's so many Punk dick writers. But now WWE told Punk, "Yeah, we're not interested. We're not going to sign you."
Yeah, I love that.
So now they're mad at WWE again. So they don't know what the fuck to do.
Watch SVU. It's a better show than
There you go.
WWE.
But you have a group of wrestling fans that are so attached to that man for one promo that he cut in 2011 when he cut that promo on Vince. That pipe bomb was amazing. It was new. It was fresh. They knew what the fuck they were doing, and they hit a home run. And there's people that just have held on to that, even though that's 13 years ago, 12 years ago, pretty much 13 years ago. So it's a long time ago.
Leon remembers he was there.
Leon was there. Leon's one of them. But you've put this dude on a pedestal, and you're fucking out there acting like he's the greatest fucking wrestler ever, and that's great, and he's good, but like he's also completely unhinged. And his matches weren't good. Like, he lost a fucking step. He really lost a step. He didn't wrestle for 7 years, and you could tell he had ring rust. And then he just wasn't as good as he was. And that's fine. Like, dude, shit, the guy's in his 40s. He didn't wrestle for 7 years, but now they're pissed. And I think that audience that he brought in, and some of that audience was already in AEW, and now they're pissed because they're like, well, you fucking fired our guy. And I think that's their biggest negative factor right now, is they're dealing with the aftermath of that. Because he was a huge high-risk, high-reward guy. Like, if he came in, he fucking made all sorts of money, he did all sorts of shit, but the bottom fell out, and here we fucking sit.
All sorts of merch.
Yeah, I mean, that's all it is the bottom fell out, and now they're dealing with the aftermath. They've got MJF.
I think that's a fair read.
They've got MJF, who's like the hottest guy in the business. They've got some other guys. They've got some shit going on, but they just fired Punk, and everybody's like, well, fuck that, you guys are assholes. It's either you're an asshole for firing him, or why the fuck didn't you fire him a year ago? It's one or the other, so everybody's kind of pissed at him. Miffed. So.
I got both sides. Like, I understood both sides of it.
So did I.
I was one of the people who was like, just get rid of him.
Yeah.
I was. We know this. But, like, I understand why they kept him. You invested a bunch of money in this guy. You're going to keep him
I
around.
thought they should keep him. And I thought if they handled the situation, if they could have had him and the Bucks do something, it would have been one of those things to take them to the next level. That would have been huge because everybody would have been like, what the fuck are they going to do? Are they going to be able to pull this off? But they never even approached it. They just acted like everything was fine and they brought him back, which was the stupidest thing they ever could have done. Because that man holds on to grudges just a little bit.
No.
And he was fucking not, like, if they could have sat down and been like, hey, we're going to work this out, here's what we're going to do.
I mean,
and it hurt him. It was, and that's Tony Khan's fault. And I really think that's where we're at. They're not on WWE's level, and they shouldn't be. Because WWE's been a company for 60 fucking years, and they've made billions of dollars. And they have all this experience. They have more people in their Hall of Fame than WWE has, or AEW has, period. You know what I mean? Like, they are an incredible fucking company, and they've been there for so long, and they have their own system. They have their own built-in fan base, and AEW is building all this, and you're going to go through shit like this. So I look at it, and I don't think the sky is falling.
You saying that made me think of, like, the numbers you were talking about, and you were like, NXT was at 900,000, and AEW is at 600,000, and now I'm thinking you had to bring in 3 of your biggest stars.
Yep.
You have this gigantic roster, you have all of this history, and you could only beat them by 300,000. That kind of, like,
yeah,
whatever. Now I'm being petty, which is what now I'm an AEW mark. Fuck.
Well, just go be a WWE mark. It's all fucking done. You guys should just fucking quit. I also saw somebody that said, if you want to fix AEW, give all creative control to Sting. And here's a list of people you need to fire. And it was like Hangman Adam Page, Orange Cassidy, Danhausen was on there, the Young Bucks.
Was it Dwight
Kenny Omega? They wanted to basically fire all the original AEW guys. And these are the guys you need to hire. And it was like Dolph Ziggler and like fucking all the guys WWE just cut. And then somebody in the comments is like, hey, have you ever watched an episode of AEW? I haven't. I can't say that. Their roster's terrible. And they're like, no, but have you actually watched? Well, I tried to, but I couldn't make myself do it. Well, then maybe you should shut up.
Yeah.
Because like you don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
If it's not your thing, it's not your thing. That's fine.
No, that's the thing. And I don't know. We bash WWE all the fucking time. Like, all the fucking time. But we're old WWE fans. Like, we were there when it was good. And it hasn't been good for a really fucking long time. And it's not good now. I mean, don't kid yourself. It has not
provided us the joy that AEW is providing us now.
Yep.
Like, I think AEW is providing us the joy that we had with the Attitude Era.
Yep.
Because we're getting to see awesome wrestling, cool storylines, and
I think as wrestling fans, our palate has changed quite a bit over the years too.
There's that.
Because
too.
If you go back and watch the Attitude Era, a lot of those matches sucked. But it was entertaining. It was shit was going on. It was action. It was boom, 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 boom. And then that palette changed after the Attitude Era as we got a little older, and it was something like Eddie Guerrero, Chris Benoit, Dean Malenko, these guys that can actually fucking work. Like, let's do something with them. Mm-hmm. And they never would because they had to push Batista and John Cena.
Bryan Danielson made a statement in one of the video packages. I think it was on Dynamite, where he's like, I wanted the match I had with Zack Sabre Jr. is the kind of match that I've been wanting to have in wrestling my entire career. Like, on a big screen, that's what I've been wanting to do. And he's like, that's... And I think that the three of us watch AEW for wrestling like that.
Yep.
For wrestling that WWE fans wouldn't be interested in. And that's fine.
And I think that's a huge... I think that's a huge piece of this. I think that's a huge thing that's going on. I think that tribalism is affected by like desires and wants. And if I'm a kid and I don't understand the concept of professional wrestling, it's way easier for me to grasp what's going on in WWE than it is AEW. Because WWE's wrestlers a little more gimmicky, a little more cartoony, matches a little more simpler, that type of thing.
WWE is less about the match and more about the character.
Yep,
I think that's the big thing.
But you got to remember when they made their money the first time in the 1980s, shit, they were just selling action figures.
Mm-hmm.
All they wanted to do. So,
as well as the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and the Transformers and the
T-shirts,
GI
T-shirts, wrestling buddies, all that shit. They used to send those fucking. I used to get those catalogs in the mail, and I'd want everything. And then some of that shit would be like ridiculously expensive. It's like, why the fuck is a wrestling buddy $60? Like, what the fuck?
Because it's Vince. Vince wants his money.
You got notes on Dynamite, bud? Let's go through them.
I have some. I'm curious to know if the intention. So we know that Orange Cassidy won the title back from Rey Fenix. It seems to me that it's because Rey Fenix is injured.
Yep.
Again, with the why don't you just vacate it and then you can whatever. Different conversation. But I'm curious to know.
You want to be stunned? I'm not sure I liked it.
Uh-oh. It was kind of blah. I mean, it was anticlimactic. It almost seemed like Orange was like legitimately surprised. Like, was I supposed to actually win that?
I don't like it. I think that there's like 400 other guys you could have put in that match. I think the story for Orange is if he's going to win it back, he wins it back from Mox.
But I think that's what they're trying to push. This is the problem.
But how the fuck do you do that now?
This is the problem that I have with like TK and booking, like in this holding pattern that we have talked about many, many times, where they're like, They want to get like Tony wants to get to this endpoint, but you have injury.
Why didn't we
have injury? And
why
then,
didn't we just wait a week and have Mox do it next week and have a different match? Like, why did we give it to? Because like Orange, not ready for a run with that yet.
Yeah, it's not going to.
And I love Orange, and that match wasn't a bad match, but it was really quick, and you could tell that Phoenix is hurt.
Mm-hmm.
But like Cassidy almost like just crushed him. I mean, it wasn't much of a match at all. So like, where are we going to go?
Like, why it makes more sense for them to vacate instead of doing like these half-ass matches. And I'm not saying it was a bad match. It was not a bad match. It just a 100% Ray Phoenix and a 100% Orange Cassidy would have put on something longer and better.
Yeah.
If you vacate the title, you can take that title and say, look, we're gonna say, I don't know, just picking names out of thin air here. We're gonna put Swerve in there. We're gonna put Nick Wayne in there. We're gonna put.
Why the fuck couldn't you have had somebody else go in that match?
Yeah.
Why couldn't you have said, hey, we're gonna give Orange Cassidy this match, and then somebody jumps him and beats him up, and then they take the match from him and win the fucking belt?
They also haven't, like, in the past, they have had it where it's like, we were gonna have this match where so-and-so and so-and-so were going to fight for the number one contendership. Well, the champion is injured, so now it's just for the championship. I think they did that with the women's championship. I don't remember.
Yep.
Like, fucking do that. Or just make a brand new title match. Like,
I wasn't a fan of this. And I know that sounds really strange because I love Orange Cassidy, but I just... wasn't a fan.
It's like... You're just trying to repeat, like, you're just trying to put something in there. So that...
If he's going to grow as a character,
like
just giving him the belt back doesn't do anything for him.
But it seems like Orange Cassidy, and it seems like they're just setting up Orange Cassidy and Moxley for the title. But, like, you don't need the title. Orange Cassidy and Jon Moxley are going to put on a hell of a show. No matter what it's
I disagree, because I think if you would have had those two... if you would have had Mox have a run with that belt... Yeah. And then Orange Cassidy climbs his way back up to be the number one contender, and then fucking beats Moxley, that would have been pretty fucking good.
Yes, but...
now you've done this, what do you do? How do you get that belt off of him and back to Mox?
Having it...
You can't just have Mox beat him again.
Yeah.
Then he looks like a schmuck.
Yeah.
So what do you do?
That. I just think, like... the way that they had it, where they had to relinquish it essentially to Ray Phoenix, it would have made a lot of sense. Which I think we talked about this last week or the week before, to just like put Mox and Orange Cassidy in a match unto themselves, keep them away from the TNT title. Neither one of them need it. If they have a match, and then make it for the world title, or not for the world title, but for like number one contendership for the world title, or even number one contendership for the, I don't know. The TBS title. I don't know.
Dynamite notes. What else you got?
Vacate. Already talked about that. This one is just kind of fun. Oh, I wanted to point out that we've had 3 title changes this week. And if you go back as far as Grand Slam, it's been 5. That seems like a ridiculous amount of title changes for AEW. Like, they don't tend to do them that quickly. And a lot of them have been because of injury.
Yeah.
It's just very strange.
The women's title one was annoying.
Oh, the one this week, yeah.
Random as shit.
I like
it was almost as random as it going there in the first place.
I think they wanted that moment at Wembley, and they got it.
Yeah.
But clearly, Saraya's not. They don't want to have her wrestle too much.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like, I'm glad Sheeta has it back, but it's like, why the fuck did we take it from her then?
Yeah.
Just to get that moment.
And
I mean, you answered the question right there. It was just to get that moment. They wanted that big happy hometown moment there.
Yeah, and it kind of mirrored the way that Sheeta got it last time.
What about? Has anybody heard anything about Jamie Hayter?
I have not.
Because I wonder what's going on. She must be hurt pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what her injuries were. Do you?
Ever since she got hurt, it's been strange. That women's title has been strange.
Yeah. That said, I think that now that they've sort of broken up the outcasts, specifically Tony getting away from them, and now like Ruby
Tony's
Soho,
the best thing they have going in that women's division by far.
Maybe it shouldn't be, because they have Willow. Am I saying that right? Willow Nightingale. They have Billy Starks. They have Sky Blue. Like they have
crazy.
Talent.
They have crazy
awesome
Tony
shit.
Storm, who is on fire.
I'm not saying that she's bad. I'm not saying that I don't like Tony Storm. I'm just saying that there are a lot of characters that I think she really, like, that character should not be the best thing that they have. They have a lot of characters that I think outshine the Tony Storm character.
I don't think so. Maybe they should, but I don't think they are. I think that's the best thing they're doing. They're putting the most effort into it. Yeah, so. Her silent movie during the commercial last night was...
I was like, what the fuck is this?
God, it was so amazing.
I did not know it was during the commercial.
I was just
that
watching
makes more
it.
Sense.
I was just watching it and I was like, what the fuck is this?
I love the fact that they she was like it's a silent film, because who needs the noise of everyday life when you have faces? And then they did the little bit in the beginning where she says something, and then they didn't put the text on the screen to like say what she was saying. Oh, it was ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Did you see her new shirt?
I did not.
Was it like back straight, tits out?
I love it.
Watch for the shoe.
One. What was the new Orange Cassidy shirt, by the way? Did you see it?
I don't know that I saw it. I can pull it up.
He had it on TV. It was like, it almost looked like him bloodied.
Oh, I've seen that one. Yeah, I was gonna buy that one. I don't think I did though. I'm looking right now.
That's too bad.
Love me some Orange Cassidy shirts.
I've heard that.
I probably have more than any other human alive. I don't know. He's pretty popular. The best friends ones where he's all bloody.
Oh, it might be that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
My favorite one is I don't have a catchphrase. That one is
$60 on sale.
My name is Orange Cassidy, and I don't have a catchphrase.
I do love that. I do very much love that.
So good. Jericho and Hobbs. I'm suddenly thinking like, you can't have Jericho lose every fucking big match. That's all he does now. Like, Hobbs needed a win, and so I get it, but at some point, the return on that is going to become less and less and less and less.
Yeah.
Because people are just like, he's fucking washed up. Who cares if you beat him?
Yeah.
You know?
But then again, they could spin that into a story. I did appreciate
I hope they do.
They, like he myrtleated him. Like, that was... Yep. It was not just like, ooh, he did a reversal on the roll-up and
no, it was
got
like
that Chris Jericho
squash match.
Getting destroyed.
Yeah, he fucking killed him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm loving Don Callis. I'm loving his family. I don't know where they go from here, because like they're all out. Kenny Omega's out, although I don't know for how long. Chris Jericho, same. Like, I'm not sure if that's a work or if like he needs time to like reset or something. Who knows? Somebody knows. Maybe you know.
I don't know.
Know? Okay.
I don't know. I don't know. I think that's another big issue they have, though, is star power. Yeah. They don't have the star power that the E has. But they shouldn't. Again, we just talked about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with Mox being hurt, you have MJF. That's kind of it. That was one of the things Punk really bought, because if Punk was on that show and not insane and like could have been a like viable part,
yeah,
that would have flipped some people.
Mm-hmm.
And that, to me, I think from watching it when Punk went to AEW, those really psychotic fans who are kind of really tribalistic were all about AEW and WWE sucked. That when Punk left, they just flipped, boom, to the other side. Fuck you, you fired him. You guys suck. You're going downhill. So
okay, fine, bye.
Yeah, cool.
We don't need you. Yeah.
Christian's great. The main event was solid.
That is the thing, though. Like MJF, I think MJF is their guy. I think Darby could be their guy, but like neither one of them are really. They're not mainstream yet. They have some
I don't think Darby will be. I think MJF will be.
on the on the women's side. I think they have like Saraya, Tony, but again, I don't think that they're mainstream yet. Like they have that star power.
Well, Mercedes Moné would be a huge
that would
get.
be huge. That would be awesome.
And I think they have to start. I think they have to figure out what the fuck they want to do, because if you want to start competing competing with the E,
Just don't.
I don't think they should. I don't think that's what people want. I think if they go to that more sports entertainment style, I think they're going to just alienate the same fan base that WWE did.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not going to beat them at their own game.
Yeah.
Yeah, they fucking invented it, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I think Tony likes to talk shit when I think he likes to say, we are not competing. We are two completely separate products until both shows are on the same night. Then he talks shit. Then he finds any reason to start a fight. The White Claws.
On the pick a fight.
Yeah. That's
I mean,
but I don't think that he should really do that. Like, it just makes him look cringe and annoying, and it usually doesn't turn out the way that he thinks it's going to.
I would agree.
Like, just do your own thing. Stick with that. We love that.
I think he needs to. I think they need to focus on their own shit, not worry about the East goddamn much.
Yeah.
But I think there's a problem though. I think there's a problem because I think Tony Khan is pretty much the same age as us.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Tony Khan in the Attitude Era was all about the WWE. And he was there when the bottom fell out, and he was there when it went to shit. He was there in 2007 where you couldn't watch it. And he was there when they dropped the ball in 2011. And he was there when they pushed Roman Reigns in 2014. He lived through all that shit like we did. And he's pissed. And he's frustrated. And I think if I was in his situation, I would do the same fucking thing. I'd be like, fuck you. You guys suck. Because they do. They suck. Like, they have a built-in fan base that's huge.
Mm-hmm.
That will accept any shit they give them. And that fan base is bigger. It's bigger than what AEW can produce. Because they've been trained. You know, there's people that have watched WWE that are in their 60s pretty much their whole life. They've brought their kids up on it. There's people that have brought their fucking grandkids up on it. Like, we're a WWE family. Like, it's a way of life for them. Like, we love it. We love it. And that's not a joke.
No, yeah.
It sounds fucking ridiculous, but it's true.
Mm-hmm.
Think about it. Think about it with football. I'm a Green Bay Packers fan. My father was. My grandfather was. My great-grandfather was. It's the same fucking concept.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're WWE. We love WWE. And you grow up with it, and you get this, like, feeling of, like, watching Hulk Hogan when we were a kid fucking hit the leg drop. We got all excited. And some people never outgrew that. Like, for some people, they still, if Hulk Hogan could come back and fucking beat Roman Reigns and hit him with the big boot and a leg drop, there's people that would lose their shit. Tell me I'm wrong.
I know some people who would too, but, you know, in a different manner.
No. That's what I'm just saying, though. There's a lot of those fucking fans are like, they don't get it. And then they're fed these things. They're fed these thoughts. I remember if you ever watched the first Royal Rumble, they put Bret Hart in first. And this was like 1988, but you had to have Bret Hart in first because, like, somebody had to keep that match together. Because, like, JYD and Jim Duggan and, like, fucking, you know, John Studd, like, they're not going to keep that match together. So, like, and they're sitting there saying, well, Bret Hart can't win this match. He's too small. He's just too small.
I mean, that was a time when you had to be a fucking monster to win a battle royal.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was the whole psychology that they sold.
The
was
only way,
the big guy's the one that's going to win, or the one that's the favorite.
The only way a guy that's not, like, Seth Rollins is not a small guy. Like, if you stood next to him in, like, real life, you'd be like, oh, guy's pretty big.
Just comparatively, though.
Yeah. And that on WWE, not so big. But, like, average human, quite big. A guy like Bryan Danielson, not real big.
Mm-hmm.
normal sized dude. But for him, he's got to be an underdog. So if you're small, you always have to be an underdog. Like fucking Rey Mysterio. Like that's all they do. They don't know what else to do with the little guy.
Yeah.
Well, hey, can't beat him up. That's ridiculous.
He can't be the favorite.
And then I remember watching the first UFC where the giant like sumo wrestler guy or whatever he was, the guy that was like Yarborough was his last name. He was like, I think it was Cale Yarborough. He's like 500 pounds fighting this dude that's like 170. And he keeps trying to grab him. This guy just starts unloading on his head, knocks the shit out of this guy. Then you start to realize, oh, maybe size doesn't always fucking matter when you have skill. And I think that's something that's missing from WWE's product, and they don't ingrain that into their fans. So if you're small, you're like a comedy underdog guy. And if you're big, like Braun Strowman, you're a superstar.
You're a monster.
Or Omos. Are they doing anything with him? I haven't heard about him in a while.
I thought he was fired.
Me neither.
No, he's not fired.
Oh, okay.
They wouldn't fire him. He's too tall for that.
I thought they got rid of him. I don't know.
Big man does choke slam.
Yeah.
Large person.
They've been trying to recreate Andre the Giant for like ever. They want to recreate Andre the Giant from like 1989, not like 1980, which is the one they should try to recreate. But they'd rather have 89 Andre that stands on the ropes and lets Haku do all the fucking work. You know.
I mean, 1975 Andre.
And 1980 Andre wasn't that bad. Not as good as 75. You're right.
Wasn't that bad.
You have any more Dynamite notes, bud?
Only one. And it's not really a Dynamite note. It's just a fun thing that I want to talk about. What group do you think Adam Copeland should join?
None.
That's not an acceptable answer. That's not a fun answer. It's not interesting.
He should make his own group.
Who would be in it?
Judgment Night.
No. That's too close. It'd have to be like this Decision Night.
The Deciderators.
Or would that be infringing on Soraya's gimmick though? Because she started changing all her moves to having her real name Knight rather than Paige.
Mm-hmm.
Possibly.
Yeah.
She could be in it. Put her in it.
Yeah. Why
She
not?
could play the role of Rhea Ripley.
I don't know if that's gonna work.
Commander could be Dominic Mysterio.
Oh God.
I love Commander. That was one of the guys that should get fired. Commander.
Why?
Oh, and they didn't even say they didn't say. They said the weird Mexican Viking guy should get fired.
Does he even work for them? I don't think he works for them.
And they're like,
he's still in AAA.
Have you watched him wrestle? He looks stupid. Have you watched him wrestle?
So
He's not. Then the guy was like, well, he's not a good wrestler. If you want to see a good wrestler, you should all just study Roman Reigns. Legit, what they fucking said.
Jesus Christ.
I'm sorry. I'm not listening to anybody tell me somebody looks silly when they probably fucking popped for the guy who wore suspenders for his wrestling trunks. Like Madcap Moss.
He's gotta wear suspenders, pal.
It's silly.
I could see him joining. My answer is that I could see him joining Darby and Sting and fitting in really well. I think that would be a cool group.
Another dark brooding fella.
Yeah.
I think the story here is that
Sting can go whenever he's ready.
I think the story here is that Nick Wayne usurps Christian and takes that group
I
over,
can see that.
and then Edge makes the save, and then we get them back together as a tag team. Because to me, that's the money match.
I think that's a perfect way for them to go out.
Yep. And I think
for
they
however
go
many
out.
years they have.
I think you give them one more run with the belts.
Yeah.
I think you get them the straps on, like the Hardy Boys. Like they wanna do it with the Hardy Boys, and I get it, but like That door has closed.
I mean, that's a way that you could
One
do
of
it.
those two is a little bit too unreliable.
Yes.
He's just a wreck in the ring too. Like he can't work anymore. He's just done.
I think that's one way you could do it, is if you gave the Hardys the championships, and then that was the way that you got it to Edge and Christian, and then let Edge and Christian be champions forever. Well, maybe not forever. I think.
Forever.
It just impresses me how good Edge is at this point, Adam Copeland, and I'm impressed at how good Christian still is. I'm not saying that I'm impressed by how good they are, just that they're this good still at this age.
They live the business.
They do.
Edge not wrestling for a while also helped him.
Yeah.
And Christian also was off for a bit because the WWE said, you can't wrestle again. You have concussions and we hate you. Wear the screw dot on your face.
What was the last thing you said? Never mind that, pal.
Did you see Brian Pillman Jr.?
Yeah.
They had vignettes for him. His name is like Alexis King now or something.
Alexis King. He doesn't want to be a junior anymore. Cool.
That's going to be bad.
Yeah.
That's not going to work.
His whole thing has been about him being a legacy wrestler, and now they took away the one thing that fucking connects him to that legacy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay.
Well, I tried. I called Triple H up and I tried to get him the pogo stick. I tried really, really hard. They didn't want to pay. They didn't want to pay me royalties on the gimmick, so it didn't work.
Give them a couple of months, then they'll use it.
Just open the damn checkbook up already. God, fuck.
Chandler Hobbs, the pogo master.
Chandler
Little
Pogo
fucking
Man Hops.
little fucking cap on his head.
Little. I
Great.
love it. That's it.
I
That's
don't
all
know.
got for Dynamite.
I didn't think Dynamite was. I thought the
Dynamite
in
wasn't my
ring.
favorite.
I thought the in ring work was good, but I thought some of the shit they did was kind of like, what are we doing?
I was actually gonna watch NXT, and then I learned that they don't post their shows until like sometime today. And when I looked it up, I was like, it's not up yet, so I'm not gonna fucking watch it. But I looked at the results, and I'm like, this isn't that impressive to me. You had Cody Rhodes do this thing, and then you had basically a regular NXT card with John Cena and The Undertaker.
He's the biggest star in the business. Cody Rhodes is. We made him a star. Well, AEW made him a star, but we stole him. Every piece of his gimmick. He's running the same character in WWE that did not work in AEW. I don't fucking know. I don't fucking care. Whatever. Fuck it.
Y'all enjoy your WWE. We're going to be over here enjoying our AEW. Stop giving us shit. Who cares? That's all.
If WWE was good, I would watch. But like, you like read shit about it or you watch clips and you're just like, I feel insulted and I feel stupid. And that's the biggest problem I have is every fucking time. And that's, like I said, the last WWE show I watched was Mania. And it put such a sour taste in my mouth because the ending was so fucking stupid that you would end your biggest show of the year the way they ended it. It's just basically they're saying fuck you to the fans. So.
I did
but
read somewhere.
Cody told the story, though, because he won those tag belts.
No, he's not done with the story yet. He's not done with it. He's still doing it. He's still working on it.
Tom rolls his eyes in that general direction.
The story has not been told.
And it won't be for another 5 years, maybe after he's retired.
Still more story to tell.
I read somewhere that Endeavor has pretty much given creative entirely to Triple H, and like Vince is not stopping things anymore. Like if there are big changes last minute, I don't remember where I read this. Could be Joe off the street. Could be Dave Meltzer. I have no fucking.
No, I read that too. Remember. Good for him.
And
it's better. It's better in his hands. But
I think yes, exactly. That was my point. Is that I think given some amount of time, because he's got to let some shit run out and like some stories take their course. He could feasibly make a product that I would be interested in. But not today. Not today.
They've burnt us so many times. They've burnt us so many times with so many different things. It's really fucking hard
Swerve.
to believe.
Swerve.
And like I've said before
Swerve.
on here, I cannot watch that show without getting pissed.
Mm-hmm.
Because they do shit, and it's just like, you're doing that only to troll us.
That's the thing is, like, I was thinking about that while I was watching wrestling today. I was like, WWE would have seen that the fans were going to know what was going to happen, and they would have switched it just for no fucking reason. Like, There's no storyline reason for this, but we're going to make Shinsuke Nakamura win by a nut punch. And then the fans figure out that's what's going to happen. So then they're like, nope, it's going to be a run in by Omos, and he's going to take over the match. Suck it, bitches.
Pretty much.
And like, I'm done with that shit. I'm through with it. Like, I'm
cool
with being worked, but like, you're working us and then working us and then working us and then swerving.
I think another really important piece of WWE is that they have like one big goal in mind, and their big goal is always their top guy. So like WrestleMania 32, they had all the heels win and the guys who didn't want to win. So at the end, when the face finally won, you would cheer Roman. And nobody cheered Roman. And it became across as the worst fucking WrestleMania of all time.
Yeah.
Because it was. It was probably worse than 9. 9 at least was only like 2.5 hours. WrestleMania 32 was like 8.
7 days worth of WrestleMania.
That's what it felt like. I was such a bad fucking show. Asuka lost.
Oh, that pissed me off so much.
When she lost to Charlotte Flair when she was undefeated.
Yeah.
She won the Women's Royal Rumble and lost. Then Shinsuke won the Men's Royal Rumble and lost to fucking AJ Styles. It was just like, it's not even your main champ. Who the fuck cares? You know? And then
give the fans this one little thing. What the fuck?
Yeah, it was bad.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe I'm not. No, that was a different WrestleMania with Shinsuke. That was 33. Because 32 would have been. I don't know. They were really going to.
I'm pretty sure Shinsuke and Asuka were the same Mania.
I think
that must have been. Was that 34?
I don't remember.
Who cares?
What the fuck happened at 30? I know the main event of 32 was Trips and Roman, and they tried to act like that was like the biggest moment in wrestling history, and they like tried to compare it to like Hogan Andre, but like not even in the same atmosphere. Just like fucking, one was good, one was bad.
Was that the one with where Triple H came out with the bike?
Yes.
And Stephanie came out in the sidecar, I think.
No, she had a bike too. They both had a bike.
She? Okay. I thought she was... No, yeah, okay. Yeah.
That was the one where they came out and the crowd was kind of like, oh, and then Roman came out and the crowd was just like, boo. So they cut all the fucking audio. If I'm ever in a bad mood, I just go back and watch the Royal Rumble from 2014 when Roman won by throwing out Kane and the Big Show, who threw out every other star because someone thought that was a good idea. And then The Rock came out to help him, and then The Rock holds his hand up, and the fucking Rock turned heel that night without realizing it. And his face was just like, holy shit, okay.
Like, not even Rock could turn him. I love it.
He just put his hands up and
like,
stepped away.
Fuck you.
Sorry.
They spent like 5 WrestleManias trying to get him over as a face. And shoved him down our throats, and they were denied every time, and the fans refused to fucking follow that guy. And they wouldn't stop.
Hey, you know, they like booing their champion. They're ribbing him. They're just pranking him. It's fine.
The fans act a little different on this show. That's what they said after WrestleMania. then, like 3 weeks later, you should be like, why are they booing him now?
Well, after WrestleMania, it's always an unpredictable crowd.
They're 270 miles away from Philadelphia. That's probably why.
I remember watching, I read it. I read or watched a video of I watched a video on YouTube of a guy who had an argument with somebody because the guy said, you know, Roman gets booed on TV. It's just because people like to boo him on TV. If you go to the house shows, he's getting cheered. Like, they love him on the house shows. He's the most popular guy. It's just not showing up that way on TV. And this guy told this other guy this. So this guy's like, all right, I'm going to go. And it was like a guy that was trying to be a podcaster. I don't know who the fuck it was. And he's like, okay, I'm going to go to a house show and I'm going to see what happens when Roman Reigns comes out. I'm going to bring my phone. And I'm going to record it. And Roman Reigns' music hits. They boot him out of the fucking building. So he posts a video. And the guy that he was telling him that responds and says, well, you were just in the wrong city. Because I think they were like in Pittsburgh. So the guy's like, all right, well, they're coming to D.C. I'm going to go to D.C. So they go to fucking D.C. He goes to D.C., records another video. They boo the shit out of him. And the guy's like, well, just the East Coast fans are just like that. So the guy's like, cool. So he got tickets in fucking Indianapolis. And he goes to Indianapolis. And he told everybody, I'm going to Indianapolis. And the one guy that was arguing with him, like, he put him in the videos. This was like a string of 4 or 5 videos. And he's just like, hey, I'm going to Indianapolis tonight. You know, you think they're going to cheer him here? And the guy's like, oh, Midwestern crowds love him. Da-da-da-da-da, the Heartland, da-da-da-da. He walks out to that arena. They booed the fuck out of him. And the guy that's making the video is just like, I don't think I'm going to go any farther in the country to prove my point. I think you get it by this point. They just don't like him. But when you have a fan base that rejects a guy, and at the same time you tell them that they're not rejecting him because he's so amazing and they believe it, okay. I try to listen to different podcasts, and every time it's like they always have a slant. They never are just honest about shit.
Yeah.
Except for like Mick Foley. Mick Foley's honest to a fault. Because he just says what he feels. Awesome. He just says what he feels, and if it pisses people off, he'll just apologize. You know?
I've read some of the, or I've listened to a couple of Gangrel's podcasts. Those are pretty interesting because he tells stories, but then he also tells, like, because he's still doing shit. So he's like talking about his appearances. He's talking about people he's that guy is all over the place.
I listened to Stevie Richards' podcast where he broke down why Nia Jax's return was an absolute flop.
Mm-hmm.
She comes out, she beats up the face, gives her 3 unsafe moves, almost hurts her, then for some unknown reason goes in the ring and beats up the heel. What are we doing? So it was actually a good listen.
I have not watched any Stevie Richards stuff. But
it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Some interesting stuff.
He's pretty good at analyzing. He'd be a good agent. AEW should hire him. But
get on it, Tony.
Well, you know, hire everybody. I'm waiting to see if we're gonna get some of those fired guys are gonna go to AEW, or if they're just gonna leave them all alone.
I feel like Jesus crackers. Ugh. Well, I think all of them have no compete clauses, if I'm not mistaken.
Do 30 or 90,
which just seems ridiculous because you release them. Like that should be whatever.
Releasing you, but you can't work, pal.
In which case, like, run out their contract, whatever. I would imagine they'd take Dolph. I would imagine they'd take Shelton. I don't know anybody else that would.
How do you bring like Shelton in though?
They want him.
I know, but like, what do you do with him?
Put him back with
Dolph. You put him with his brother. I think you just put Dolph in a tag team with his brother and let him go.
Shelton. Did you see Shelton? He showed up in a online video with the Murder Hawk.
Murder bird.
That's awesome.
He did.
That's awesome.
I think he said he was in like Houston or something, and then Shelton shows up behind him wanting to work with him at the gym.
I could see Shelton going to NJPW.
Like, okay, yes, please.
Yeah, Shelton could do that too. Shelton's
go to NJPW and then come to AEW.
How they never got anything out of him, I'll never know. Because he's so good.
Yeah.
But
they don't get him. He's a wrestler.
No.
That's the issue. He's a wrestler. And WWE doesn't know what to do with wrestlers.
They never do.
Even though it's in the fucking name. It's not World Waffle House Entertainment. No.
I didn't watch Collision in a while. They doing anything with Miro?
He wasn't on this week. I don't think he was on
Okay.
last week either. I think he's kind of disappeared for a little bit. Oh, he's doing this bit where he's crabby with, because CJ came back.
Yeah, I saw that.
And he's crabby with her because she's distracting him. But that was a few weeks ago.
Well, she's recruiting now.
Oh, I did not know that.
She's going to be a manager and recruiting people now.
Cool.
Yeah. And posted Instagram pictures of herself with a see-through top on and flesh-colored pasties.
Oh my god, I saw that though. That I saw.
Well, while trying to recruit people to be managed by her.
Doesn't she? She has an only. She has an OnlyFans, doesn't she?
It's an enthralling television, I tell you.
She
I
has
have
an
no
only.
idea. Probably.
Only for
Wouldn't
the
doubt
pictures or the stories.
CJ Perry, OnlyFans.
And now we've come to the section of our podcast, which is, do they have an OnlyFans?
Yeah, no, she does have an OnlyFans,
Great.
Yeah. but I don't think she goes. I don't think she goes nude on it. I think she's more of a bikini lingerie picture type person.
Nudes rather than nudes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I like Mandy Rose can
Sounds
make
like
more
a
money
woman.
doing that than she can wrestling. More power to her.
Yeah.
Just like if you could freaking Paige Van Zandt makes bank doing
Get
that, why
paid,
would you
son.
ever fight anybody ever again?
Get paid, son. Get paid.
Get your bag.
If I could make that much money showing my boobs, I'd do it. I don't
Fuck
think
yeah, I would.
Feet Finders, your choice, Leon.
Let's switch to
Goddamn right.
OnlyFans. Let's stop doing podcasts and let's switch to OnlyFans. We'll do a bundle special thing.
Leon's feet.
Spread my butt cheeks is my concho.
Gross. I'm sick.
All right. Well, on that note, we should probably go because now we're just talking about OnlyFans.
For the top OnlyFans podcast in the world.
No longer crocheting. I have been
You gotta
Bud.
aspire to something.
That's true. Leon joined us, and Town is here too. We all talked about OnlyFans for a while.
This is my way for when I win fairest of the fair.